Let's do it.
Aluminum Spork.
Spork. What is going on, everybody? Welcome. It is Tuesday night, the normal night most of the time for Aluminum Spork. I am Scott from Sporking News Podcast. If you don't know me already, now you know. And we also have with me the great Mr. Grant Gregory, who is laid out a little bit, but still a trooper, unlike Tina Bojan. Just kidding. How you feeling, buddy?
Feeling good, mate. She'll put a hit on you if you keep it up.
Yeah, I know. I'll end up in that hitman
Concrete shoes
hospital or whatever it is.
Yeah.
We don't want that. But how's the back?
Oh yeah, it's been better.
Yeah. Always the worst. Back, like, used to hurt my back in the day, and now all of a sudden it's like when I do it, it's like 2 weeks. It's
Yeah.
So we're getting old, and that's fun. That's a lot of fun. But we got a lot going on in ufology right now. I don't know if you know this. So I don't know if a lot of people, follow exactly who is like in charge right now in the government covering ufology, because there was like, you had your Senate, and congressional hearings last year with people like David Grush, and some of like the pilots and people within our military that saw, they were all people within our government or military that saw UAPs or UFOs, whichever term you want to use.
I'm going to stick with UFO.
Right. I would too. So we used to have the ATIP program, which someone like Lou Elizondo, I think that's how you say his last name. I always screw it up, and no disrespect to him, was the director for 10 years, where when he left, he was telling us, yes, there's life out there. I mean, he went, when there's life out there and you're leaving like a government agency, you got to find yourself a late 90s pop punk artist to, start a UFO program with. An Academy of the Stars is that. But if you listen to the man speak, either he's one of the best at disinformation, or, trying to lead us down the wrong valleys and, to get to disclosure, or he's telling the truth. And I lean to think the guy tells the truth. Well, his replacement in the AARO, which is All Dominion Anomaly Resolution Office, was this Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick. This was the man the government chose to help with government agencies, government officials willing to come forward as whistleblowers, willing to show proof, willing to tell their stories. This was the man that headed it. And he put out a scathing op-ed on my birthday, January 22nd, which I missed because, I always read Scientific America, but I must have missed this one. But it was really a slap in the face, and we'll go over that. But, first, how much do you know, being from a third world country, about, the American government and their departments?
Well, I know they like to do funny acronyms. The guy who was in charge of naming it thought he spelled arrow, but he's a little bit dyslexic, so he went AARO. So yeah.
It's like for old aliens.
In all fairness, Earth language is his fifth language, so makes sense.
Yeah, probably lizard people is his first. Let's
say every time I hear the word government and disclosure, I don't believe it.
No, right.
Yeah.
I mean,
it doesn't make any sense.
There was a gentleman years ago. I want to say his name was Glass. Was his last name? When George Knapp was a younger man, they used to go. He was like the government's defunker. After Project Blue Book. I'm sorry, I keep hitting my microphone. My bad. After Project Blue Book. Blue Book. No. Oh God, am I screwing that up? Is it Blue Book?
Bluebird,
right?
the,
No, Blue Book.
the one where they messed with that guy.
The one that started in like the 60s and went on till recently, and I might be screwing it up. So Adega or Soul, let me know if I said that. Operation Blue Book. I keep it's blue, and I'm blanking right now if I'm saying that right. I do
Blue's
love
Clues.
ufology. I do love ufology, but just like every other thing I cover, my brain sucks. Yeah, it's Blue Book. Okay, I thought I had it. Thank you, Adega. Adega Outlaw in the house, everybody. How are you, my man? Oh, I was trying to cheer you. I don't know if you're into the alien stuff, but let me know. We'll have you on about this stuff because I love Adega. We haven't hung out in a long time. Bad Takes Bojan in the house. Good evening, friends. She's not here. She's feeling down, probably doing a mob hit somewhere in Scarface's territory. Biggles Mets, have no fear. Biggles is here. And we love Biggles. We love him. I met him. Good guy. Good guy. Putting pressure on, some major, comic book creators, but whatever. I saw your tweets. Alex Moore, as always, supporting us. Thank you, Alex. And the mod of mods, Soul Assassin, always giving us the props. But Pope Metallicus, what's going on, man? It's been a while. Hope everything's well with you. I know Vetstock's been doing great. I wanted to get a hold of you because I am starting a new channel. It's Sporking Records, which I had like 30 subs with no videos, and now I'm down to 5 because of YouTube. So, but you should
Makes
check
sense.
it out. Yeah, I'm gonna start one, and you're one of the people I'd love to talk to about some music. Andy's in the house. Zombie Box Reviews. What's up? Everyone right now is here on YouTube, but we're also over live on Rumble, so check it out over there too. I did a lot of alien stuff once upon a time. I thought we talked about this once before. It's all about the probing. You're absolutely right. And Zach's, if you're free, jump in, man. Let me know if you want to. Zach's never wants to come on anymore because I'm tainted. Anyways, let's go on. Yeah, I'm tainted, whatever. So this Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick was the head for about a year. And then I'm still I haven't followed it close enough to know. I felt like he was forced out from what I'm reading, or asked to resign, retire, whatever.
Yeah, well, they ask people to resign, so that way he's like, oh, well, you keep all your benefits, but you're going to lose your job either way.
Right. I think it has a lot to do with the handling of after that congressional Senate hearing. Like he literally called, where someone's coming from, where he says, and I quote, hold on, you know what? Let's just bring up his op-ed and we'll take a look at it because, he's, they think like we're dumb. Like we don't notice that they're being condescending or, just straight up disrespectful. So let me know in the chat if you guys can see that. I'll blow it up even a little bit more. We'll go up to like 200. But there is a spot where he's talking about whistleblowers and it drove me mad. And we'll go back and read a little bit more, but he says something to the effect of conspiracy-minded whistleblowers. So right there, what the guy's motive is. It's to disrespect, to
well, I mean,
down.
if you are a whistleblower, you are usually uncovering a conspiracy.
Yeah, right. But you're not conspiracy-minded.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. His choice of words is,
Yeah, it's the choice of words he used, and he's using it as I didn't mean it like that, just like how you said it. Oh no, it's a conspiracy because we haven't proven it yet. But when you say conspiracy-minded, it's almost what you're saying is these people are coming forward and they're conspiracy theorists, which is now almost like a 4-letter word.
Which 4-letter word?
Mm-hmm. I think it starts with an F, mofos. Yeah, where does he? I don't know where exactly it is in there, but I could read it somewhere else. I know I saw it. But anyways, we will go through it. It's just, and this isn't what gets me is this isn't, you know, Twitter, where the majority of us on Twitter are nuts. Agree, disagree, I don't know, but majority of us are a little bonkers.
I agree, but my other personality doesn't.
Yeah, blame your kids. I got mine to bed. That's why. Well, my wife did. It's. I forgot where I was going with that. I saw that, and my brain jumps. So let's just jump into it. What were you?
We're all mental on Twitter, and it's not
Oh,
Twitter.
that's true. Yeah, it's not Twitter. It's an actual, scientific journal. Really, it's Scientific America is where people go to post some of their first papers to get feedback from other scientists. So when you do an op-ed on there, you're reaching out to the scientific minded people, which proof is in the pudding. You have to show proof before they can even, I understand that, but you're already trying to mold their minds to this is garbage and this is a joke and we have no proof. There's never been any proof. And after I read it, let me know what you think. But yeah, Pope, definitely. Awesome. That'd be totally cool with me. Yeah, I know I'm reading. This is going to be terrible. And probe that like button. And guys, when the show's over, please come back and comment. Definitely on YouTube and on Rumble. Just even if you just throw comment, hey, and comment on somebody else's comment because that's what the algorithm likes right now. And a lot of my notifications aren't even going out. So if you could do that, I'd really appreciate it. So let's see.
Just comment on everyone's comment with the word comment, even if someone else has done it to you.
I just would love to see comments everywhere. The word comment everywhere. We have whistleblowers, dog whistles, and don't forget your great whistles. Hey man, it saves you when you're walking in the park by yourself at night. Even though no one ever wants to attack me.
Oh, the grape flavored ones, yeah.
Oh, those grape flavored ones are the best. So this is his title. Here's what I learned as the U.S. government's UFO hunter. Okay, and we know that the history of the UFO hunting for the government is not on a good track record. Okay, Freedom of Information has showed us a lot of documentation of how they were just pretty much using what was his name? I'm blanking on the doctor with Project Blue Book, where he literally went out and debunked it, no matter if he even thought there was a chance that it could be a UFO on a something that they just couldn't explain. He debunked.
If you couldn't explain it, it was considered debunked.
Right, pretty much. So here it goes. Here, a forthcoming investigational report from an office of the Pentagon has found no evidence of aliens, only allegations circulated repeatedly by UFO claim advocates. So right there. And okay, another question. Why has he been so vocal? It's like the last week or two compared to when he was released. They announced his retirement back in, I want to say, the beginning of November. But all of a sudden now he's pushing this narrative.
Maybe he's trying to toe the line to see if he can get another cushy job.
Or he could have been asked.
Yeah. More importantly, why is he a foot tall and now got green eyes and he's left-handed?
Good question. So here we go. Look at this guy. I don't trust him. He's got shady eyes, like you said. Carl Sagan polarized the maxim that oh my God, Pope, you knew I was going to screw all this up. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. This advice should not be optional for policymakers. In today's world of misinformation, conspiracy-driven decision-making, and sensationalized dominated governance, our capacity for rational, evidence-based critical thinking is eroding. deleterious consequences for our ability to effectively deal with the multiplying challenges of ever increasing complexity.
Deleterious consequences are the worst kind of consequences.
I don't even know what it means, so I'm going to look it up real quick, unless you know and you can tell me.
No, it has the word delete in it, so.
Yeah, have a harmful effect. Hurtful.
Well, why'd you say dire then?
Yeah, it's an adjective. Similar is hurtful, noxious, destructive. So, like, yeah, oh, I'm in Scientific America. I have to sound really
You
smart.
went out of the way. What do you call to casino? God, just saying big
right?
words for no reason.
I went to college for like three and a half years. I mean,
you weren't enrolled there.
freshman.
You were just selling drugs, but that's all right.
No, that is erroneous on all charges. I was taking them, but I was not selling them.
So that would be a deleterious comment.
Yeah, yes, there you go. I still don't even know how to pronounce it. As director of the Department of Defense's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, or AARO, AARO, charged by Congress. So this was only in 2022 to help bring science-based clarity and resolution to the long-standing mystery surrounding credible observations of unidentified anomalous phenomenon, UAP, also known as UFOs. I experienced this erosion is that what he's saying? Erosion up close and personal. Man, he is going at it. And it was one factor in my decision to step down. Oh yeah, he stepped down. That's right. From my position last December. It was when people started attacking him because they were attacking David Gresh, I believe, for having PTSD after serving in our armed forces. I think that was one of the reasons. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was one of the reasons. You could.
So that's that guy. Okay, you now know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Hello, Miss Martin Muses. Good to see you. Love having you here. And please, guys, make sure you check out her channel. And everybody else is there. There's so many YouTubers in here. I love that you guys support me. So thank you so much. After painstakingly assembling a team of highly talented and motivated personnel and working with them to develop a rational, systematic, and science-based strategy to investigate these phenomenon, and telling them to debunk anything, our efforts were ultimately overwhelmed by sensational but unsupported claims that ignored contradictory evidence yet captured the attention of policymakers and the public, driving legislative battles and dominating the public narrative. So he's also attacking Congress for trying to find an answer to, is there life and have we had first contact or at least second?
Which is a weird position to take for the person that's supposed to be in charge of doing said job.
Right. And it's, even just reading this, and maybe he didn't mean this. I'm giving him the slimmest benefit of the doubt, but he's coming out abrasive. He's coming out really guns blazing, like from the start, disrespecting the whole field of ufology and all the whistleblowers.
Well, it's like a judge just saying that everyone's guilty. It's just like a judge just comes in and says, "All right, get your guilty client to come up here."
Yeah. I would love to be on Zombie Box Reviews, Andy. You always support me, even though you make fun of me a lot. But I would love to be on your channel and help you. Anytime, buddy. Anytime, like, insert life on life's terms with all these children I have. Yeah. No, you're right. It's like, he's already, even though this is after the fact, I feel like just reading this, he went in it with a bias, not open-minded. He was going to prove these wrong. Because it's unbelievable that some of the footage we have seen from pilots from the Air Force, pilots from the Navy, different groups that did surveillance at different military camps, people that worked within the CIA, the DOJ, and all these other, there has been people coming forward because they were told they were protected. And this gentleman was the one that I believe.
Well, they used to be. there used to
Well,
be a
they
fund
weren't.
for people that were injured from UFOs because 50 people in America are seriously injured or killed every year to do with UFOs. That's why this was all set up so then they could have some sort of accountability and know what it was. But this guy's just like, no, it was all fake.
Yeah.
These
It,
pilots that have been straight laced for 35 years have served the country, all of a sudden are coming out as conspiracy theorists.
yeah. Yeah. And the idea how he treated whistleblowers, this is the thing. There wasn't protection for people coming out. They would be ridiculed if they talked about, I think I saw an alien ship, so the government, Congress passed this whistleblower protection. I think it was a protection act where they would be treated with respect and even, their names withheld until, needed maybe by Congress to come and speak on it. And that's why we never heard of David Grush until he actually came forward, and he was coming forward for a while, but actually in front of Senate. But the way he treated whistleblowers, these people don't feel safe again. So it's almost like he did his job. Shut them
I
up.
was going to say, yeah, in other words, he passed with flying colours.
Yeah. The result of this whirlwind of tall tales, fabrications, and secondhand or third-hand retelling of the same was a social media frenzy and a significant amount of congressional and executive time and energy spent on investigating these so-called claims, as if we didn't have anything better to do. Wow, he doesn't want another job, at least not in government, because he's attacking them too. You attack the executive branch, probably not the smartest. The conspiracist story goes something like this. The U.S. has been hiding and attempting to reverse engineer as many as 12 UFOs from as early as the 1960s, perhaps earlier. Dude, if you even knew the story, you would know it was the 40s. Come on, you jerk. Like, you didn't even pay attention to that. Like, Roswell. I mean, it even goes back further than that, but the most Americans that know
Yeah.
anything of this myth, it's Roswell.
So, but by those statements, he's basically saying everything up until that
It was
point
real.
is 100% fake.
Yeah. Everything up to 1960 was real. After that, we
Yeah.
really started faking it really good. That's crazy.
Dickhead.
Yeah, this guy's coming off, man. This great cover up and conspiracy failed to produce any salient results, and consequently, the effort was abandoned to some private sector defense contractors to continue the work. Sometime later, the story continues, those private sector contractors want to bring the whole program back under U.S. government, USG. Suspicious. Apparently, the CIA stopped this supposed transfer back to the USG. All of this is without evidence. Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. But alas, belief in a statement is directly proportional to the volume in which it is transmitted and the number of times it's repeated, not the actual facts. Oh, like how the media does that.
I was going to say, yeah, especially the last 3 years, we've heard that a lot.
Yeah. Well, when you have like one of the Lear jets, one of the Lears come out and say that this is happening. Now, he did have some wacky theories, but who's to say they're not true? Like you've had family members, people that worked.
But the thing of it is, they asked him to explain what it is, and he has no concept of what it is. So he's just throwing out random ideas, and they're going, "See, the guy's a conspiracy theorist. He doesn't know what he's talking about."
Right. But he just doesn't know how to maybe explain it.
Yeah.
So during a full-scale year-long, big time period there, investigation of this story, which has been told and retold by a small group of interconnected believers and others with possibly less than honest intentions. Now, I may agree with him on that last one. There are definitely people in the ufology field that make up ridiculous stories to make money. I can name a handful of them, but I won't. And others that may have, a little wackadoodle, but people believe, people want to believe so bad that they listen to those people, and they do put a scar on the actual scientific based ufology where people are trying to find proof and using equipment to see if there's any after radiation, after effect of of a landing, trying to find material, any type of thing like that, even photographic. We've gotten to a point where everyone's like, oh, that's just a green screen, or that guy just edited that, because that's what they put in our minds. And there have been too many
Yeah,
people that have done that too. So I could agree with them,
100%.
you know? Um, and I'll
You're
try to
still a
keep an
dickhead
eye
though.
on the chat if anybody's involved. I know this might be a little wordy and stuff, but stick with us if you like. Um, First, no record exists of any president or living DoD or intelligence community leader knowing about this alleged program, nor any congressional committee having such knowledge. Right. Is he going to go with the making fun of people because we believe there's non-elected people running this program that have been there for decades? He'll probably do that at some point.
I
This
don't remember anyone electing him.
Yeah, right. This should speak volumes if this case were following typical procedure, because it is inconceivable that a program of such importance would not ever have been briefed to the 50 or to 100 people at the top of the USG over the decades of its existence. Now, we have found proof from Freedom of Information that there have been times where the president didn't know about certain programs. Um, there's also other leaders that they compartmentalize. So the CIA might be running something that the DOJ has no clue about. I mean, this does happen. So right there, I call BS on this guy. I just
Yeah,
wonder why he wrote
he's
this.
covering something up.
Yeah,
It's
dude.
very selected language.
Yeah. Second, this narrative has been simmering for years and is largely an outgrowth of a former program at the DoD's Defense Intelligence Agency, DIA, called the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, or ATIP, which it was heavily influenced by a group of individuals associated with a businessman and longtime ufologist Robert Bigelow, excuse me, founder of Bigelow
Beagles
Aerospace.
Mets.
Yeah, it's big holes. It's your relative. Um, in 2009, the Senator Harry Reid asked the Secretary of Defense to set up a SAP, Special Access Program, to protect the alleged UAP UFO material that ATIP proponents believe that USG was hiding. The secretary declined to do so after a review by the Office of the Undersecretary of the Defense of Intelligence, and DIA concluded that not only did no such material exist, but taxpayers' money was being inappropriately spent on paranormal research at Skinwalker Ranch in Utah. This is well documented in open sources, particularly in the records available on their electronic FOIA reading room. After the negative response by the Secretary of Defense, Senator Reid then enlisted the help of then Senator Joseph Lieberman, Connecticut, to request that the Department of Homeland Security set up a SAP for the same purpose. The administrative SAP proposal package was informed by the same individuals who had been associated with ATIP. AARO's archival research has located the administrative proposal for the DHS SAP, complete with the participants, which has been declassified and is being reviewed for public review or release, excuse me.
Yeah, a lot of word salad with that one.
Yeah. I feel like he's leaving out a lot. We'll get back to that, but
Oh yeah.
finally the key purveyors of this narrative have known one another for decades. Unlike the government, 50 years in the Senate, then you're vice president and a president. I mean, like, a lot of people too. So, like, what does that even mean? I'm not even saying it. They all know each other and they've known each other for decades. In the early 2000s, or is he trying to sneak out that there is a couple? He just,
I was gonna say, is he just confirming that there is one?
And are they trying to disinformation us? Like, I could believe that too a bit, but I just feel like he's defending not having any evidence. I find that really hard to believe when year in and year out, we find out that there are things they cannot identify. talk
Yeah,
about
so
whatever
that's
that
the whole
was.
point.
Did you roll over?
That's the whole point of what they're doing with it is unless you've got 100% proof, then you've got no proof.
Right, right. Um, because witness testimony means nothing to them. Even in a court of law, a witness, testimony means something if you can, the person had, their record, who they are. And let's not forget, like the former defense minister of Canada talked about this, talked about America having spacecrafts. Um, and they tried to debunk him too, but the man had an impeccable background that I know of. I haven't heard anybody like they try to, oh, he's losing his mind. Like, okay, sure he did.
And then he fell down an elevator shaft.
Well, he lived, till I think like 80, so good for him. In the early 2000s, several members of this small group also participated in a study and erroneously characterized by the same participants as having been sponsored by the White House on the possible societal impact of disclosing the existence of extraterrestrials to the public. They've done that multiple times. It wasn't just in the early 2000s. And he's talking about a think tank, I believe, in the early 2000s that did it. With the authenticity of the above mentioned concealed government program taken as its baseline assumption. You love how he's not throwing people's names out there. He's just, there were
He's
these.
just, it's like,
he's
yeah, there
doing,
was this guy, and there was a guy down the pub, and there was this other fellow who did this, and
like he
it,
literally is doing what he's saying
other people
debunks,
doing,
right,
yeah.
debunks the whole ufology. But he's doing this in this letter. He's not giving us any evidence. Any. Oh, well, there might be one that, we're looking over it for freedom of information, but it'll come out. Yeah, okay. Let's see when that happens. With the authenticity of the above mentioned concealed government program taken into baseline assumptions, the think tank in question was a futures enterprise that often worked on fringe studies, and many of the individuals involved with the study also worked for Bigelow Aerospace in support of an ATIP program. Now, the think tank was asked a question and they answered it. And it was a dumb answer, I personally thought, but they thought we weren't ready for disclosure if there was proof. And
But
it
how
kind
would
of,
they know? That's the point. You don't know. You don't know
right,
you're ready to jump into a cold river until you do it, like sort of thing. Like you've got to trust the process and trust the people.
but they don't. This is the large government now that doesn't believe we're smart enough to handle or emotionally stable enough, which they may have a point. Some on the fringe, really on the far sides of the lines, wouldn't be able to handle it. But I feel like they also have been deprogramming us or programming us to accept some form of an either alien contact or invasion. I mean, how many movies in the last 40 years has that been where we've had nice interactions with aliens or they came to kill us all?
Oh, at least 7.
At least 7, I would say. Oh, thank God. Guys, another monster's here. We're all good. Thank you, brother. I am not. I am not. You weren't supposed to tell anybody that. Let's see. AARO thoroughly investigated these claims as part of its congressionally mandated mission to not only technically evaluate contemporary UAP observations, but also review historical accounts going back to the 1940s. One of my last acts before retiring was to sign AARO's Historical Records Report Volume 1, which is currently being prepared for delivery to Congress and the public. Right. The report demonstrates that many of the circulating allegations described above derive from inadvertent or unauthorized disclosure of legitimate U.S. programs or related R&D that have nothing to do with extraterrestrial issues or technology. Some are misrepresented and some derive from pure, unsupported beliefs in many respects. The narrative is a textbook example of circular reporting, which each person relaying which they heard, but the information often ultimately being sourced to the same small group of individuals. Kind of like when certain congresswomen would call, like, I don't know, the New York Times or the Washington Post and say something about a former president. And then they say, oh, a source told me. And then it goes around. And when it comes back to her, she's like, yeah, I heard it on the news.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Um,
Circular information.
Chad Voltron. Oh, we're in trouble, dude.
Oh no.
Or Valiant Thor. He's from Venus. The operational mission Congress has assigned AARO is important. Accumulating observations by highly trained U.S. military and others. So, what about the U.S. military people that reported this stuff? They weren't highly trained. I don't know.
Well, yeah, you're basically saying that the military who you've entrusted to do it is not properly trained. That's
Right,
a worse message to send out there.
right. He's saying observing his guys was fine, but yours weren't.
Yeah,
So he says accumulating
they took a
observations.
seminar. They know what
Yeah,
they're doing.
maybe he's talking about this stuff. So let's see what he has to say about their evidence. Accumulating observations by highly trained U.S. military and other credible personnel of UAPs at or near sensitive national security areas and activities calls for a serious effort to understand what's going on. Simply put, unidentified is unacceptable. Particularly in these times of heightened geopolitical tension, part of the problem we face today, however, is the modern media cycle drives stories faster than sound research. Science and peer review timelines can validate them. They haven't yet, though, and I know what you're trying to
Yeah, but
say. That
what does that have to do with anything
yeah,
that's been disclosed? Like that's just
well, what he's saying is
so,
we haven't had enough time to BS you into believing we could debunk these. So you're
but you're
reporting
putting
on.
it. But they're already putting it out there that it is being debunked.
But what he's trying to say now is the government should not release anything until they can debunk it, like the Tic Tac or
But
things.
they're not going to debunk it. That's the problem. So therefore, they don't have to release anything.
There you go.
If they don't
There's your
investigate it, then
answer.
they don't have. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's,
Like either they can't debunk it, they don't release it, or they can debunk it and release it. So you got the jellyfish, you got the Tic Tac. There was another good one last year. So like they didn't have time to put up the bullshit meter and come up with it was a weather balloon phenomenon. That's one good thing about modern media, because he has a point. It goes really fast and sometimes is not, you get one source and not check it with another. That's one bad thing about media today. But releasing footage to me is something different. You're saying, hey, this is what we were given. What do you think? Make up your own minds, America, or the world, really. And I find that to be a good thing. Um, More worrisome is willingness of some to make judgments and take action on these stories without having seen or even requested supporting evidence. An omission that is all the more problematic when the claims are so extraordinary. Some members of Congress prefer to opine about aliens to the press rather than get an evidence-based briefing on the matter. Members have responsibility to exhibit critical thinking skills instead of seeking the spotlight. Here it was. As of the time of my departure, none, let me repeat, none of the conspiracy minded whistleblowers, in parentheses, like they're bullshit, they're not whistleblowers, in the public eye had elected to come to AARO to provide their evidence and statement for the record despite numerous invitations. He is lying there.
I was going to
There's
say, there's no way in the world with all
no,
the people that have gone onto stuff and they said, "All right, come show us what you've got."
and they
And they've
didn't.
gone,
And
"No."
there's going to be we're going to listen to George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell in a minute talk about how David Gresh has receipts, man. He went, he spoke to them. So this guy, multiple whistleblowers have said they spoke to him, and he pretty much just kind of waved them away. Wouldn't deal with them. So he's bullshit. They brought evidence. So saying none, let me repeat, none of them. And I love conspiracy minded quotation mark whistleblowers. That is such. Now, if I was in the military and I read that, I'm not telling them what I just saw yesterday, and then fucking Bigfoot like molested me
But
in the
that's
park.
yeah.
You
Sorry
know?
about that.
Yeah, it was hot.
But that's the point. It's a two pronged attack. It's not just stopping the information going out. It's also stopping the information from coming in.
Yeah, well, that's the biggest part. He's stopping the information from coming in. I mean, when you call them conspiracy-minded whistleblowers, and these people are supposed to be protected by the government when they come and report this, and there should be no backlash, to me, that's backlash. You are disrespecting these people in a scientific journal. You are saying they are conspiracy-minded, so-called whistleblowers. That's what this means. Right there, he should be put there. There should be something that happened, because as a former director of AARO, I don't care if you stepped down, were put down, retired, saying that in less than a few months, there has to be some legal action they could take after these people put their names on the line, their careers, because
Yeah,
they
that's the
really
thing.
believe they needed to do this.
As I said, you're talking about people who have been in the military for years and people who are above reproach in this sort of field, being treated like some sort of homeless crack addict that said, "I saw a dragon on my lawn." You know,
Right.
it's disgusting.
Effed up, man.
Especially doing it to your military part. That's the part that really irks me.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got these pilots that are supposed to be going and doing these things and doing observations. When they do observe something, they're like, "No, you didn't." And then what the fuck was he out there for?
Right. Dude, um, and the problem with the response to this is that ufology loves to fight each other instead of coming together, supporting each other, and going up. You have guys on Twitter that their full job is attacking Jeremy Corbell, who, to me, man, seems like a pretty stand-up dude. Seems like he really has a passion for ufology. Like, this isn't his sole career. He's pretty well known for his real estate, doing well in real estate. Like, he does
Well, his
this because he,
Wikipedia says he's a pseudoscientist.
all right, well, so is Graham Hancock, when they've never
Yep.
once said that, you know? So that's what kills me. But also, let's not forget, certain people are allowed to write on Wikipedia and certain people aren't. Graham Hancock's not even allowed to change his own page. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I'm
I
not
don't know.
surprised at that.
It's messed up. All right, so let's see. Let's finish this up. Um, had elected to come to AARO to provide their, again, quotation marks, evidence and statement for the record, despite numerous invitations. They did, and we'll be following this, because I feel like this is going to be much bigger than what this asshole expected it to be. Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick. Anyone that would rather be sensationalized in the public eye than bring their evidence to the one organization established in law with all of the legal process and security framework established to protect them, their privacy, and the information, and to investigate and report our findings is suspect. So what he's saying there is, oh, they didn't bring their evidence. We asked them to, but they never did. That just pretty much goes to show you they're all lying. David Gresh,
Yeah,
the guy
straw
with
man
the,
argument.
yeah, these are people that sat in front of Congress and talked about, like, asked for the SAP, let's go behind doors and let me show you the evidence. So, like, I don't understand. David Gresh is somewhere on the spectrum. He was, as an adult, found out he was, and he is one of those people on the spectrum that everything is documented. He goes by the rules. He asks if he's allowed to speak. Like, he has put in so much paperwork asking if he could speak about this topic. That's why he's so, like, you can't get him. Like, anybody coming after him within the government, he protected himself by getting approval from his superiors to talk about it. The dude was brilliant, actually. Like, he got documentation saying he's allowed to speak on this because he went through the right
Yeah, you go through the proper channels,
Yeah. Here
and
we
then
go.
still gets called out by a piece of shit who's probably never served a day in his life.
Tina, I love Graham and Randall too, but neither one of them have ever said they were scientists. And to me, Randall Carlson could be a professor of geology. Like, the guy has put in the work since the early 70s. So I don't know. Graham Hancock is a great writer, and he articulates what is believed by this group of scientists, but he never once said he was a scientist either. Um, so going on, I can assure you, as its former director of AARO is unwaveringly committed to harnessing science and technology to bring unprecedented clarity to these fascinating, important, and stubborn mysteries, and to do so with maximum transparency. Zondijk, hun schneel, hun night, night, night. That's what I feel like he would be doing on a podium.
Yeah, that took a bit of a turn.
I'm sorry. It's like propaganda, dude. At its best. There be flags of AARO and stuff. They are liars. These wretches of humanity. Speaking of aliens. No, I thought it was funny. Put a 1 in the or a F in the chat if you thought I was funny. Mr. Grant's back.
Oh, I thought it was funny. Just the hand action was a little bit suspect.
Well, I was trying to do. Yeah, okay, maybe I went a little far. I was talking about him. Thank you, Bagels.
That was Biden, right? You were doing?
Yeah, Biden.
Yeah.
Biden, close enough.
Yeah.
FDR. Its talented staff and team of supporting scientists are at this very moment striving in collaboration with the armed forces, intelligence community, government agencies, national laboratories, scientific community, academic community, and soon the general public, because he didn't just disrespect all of them, to collect and analyze hard, measurable data, i.e., extraordinary evidence. I think I said that right. In this heretofore eyewitness rich but data poor field, once again, attacking ufology without saying it, the AARO team will go wherever the data takes it without fail, and it will come for you. I mean, it will not swain by any attempts to influence its findings otherwise. Science cannot be left on the side of the road in the mad dash to uncover some great conspiracy. Carl Sagan would expect no less, and neither should the American people.
No, they'd expect you to take the evidence and judge it based on that, saying that you're not going to change your mind on shit. He's just completely reckless.
Yeah. This guy right here. You trust them shifty eyes? I don't. But that's your boy right there, Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick.
He looks like the third or fourth in charge of like a Bond villain.
Or like the Liquid Terminator, but like the middle to late age, form.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he turns into that. Like after the chick one, it's this guy. Like you would never expect him. Don't worry. Sean Connery's already dead, so we're good. Yeah, man. To me, it's really it's messed up. He comes out hard. Like conspiracy
minded fucking wackadoodles.
Yeah, whistleblowers. Like so disrespectful to people that finally felt like they can come forward.
Well, just remember, there's people who still think Julian Assange and Snowden are fucking terrorists because they gave the public information.
Right. You know what? And not Julian, but Snowden. I fell for it at the beginning. But once you sit back and actually, because I am also an evidence-based person, I didn't jump on that. He's a criminal, but I was like, wow, that's messed up. The story they're telling us, and then you look into it. And that dude felt like it was he had to do what he did because what was happening was wrong. They were spying on the American people.
Yeah, like the whole point of the agency is to work outside of the country, and it turns out they're doing 90% of their work to the citizens in the country.
Well, I remember when the Patriot Act was put forward. And I said to it was right after 9/11, and we're going after weapons of mass destruction. and we won. And I was saying to people, I'm like, dude, why don't you give away a freedom? Like, you give the government this right, it's going to turn back on us. And I was laughed at. Oh, they would never use it on, it's only on far right, and they would never use it on American citizens. And a decade later, decade and a half, we found out they were using it on American citizens. You know,
Yeah,
so
well, I had a mate of mine. He's a Sikh,
I mean,
and
oh yeah,
yeah, and yeah, he was born in America, and he was held for 18 months over nothing. Yeah, they let him go, and they gave him $1,600.
wow,
There you go, you're
a
done.
little hush money, $1,600 of hush.
$1,600.
Oh, that's messed up, dude. That is messed up. Let's see. I want to get to the part of weaponized that I was listening to. Sugar beans. Hold on. I will find it. Anybody in the chat? What do you guys think about Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick?
Dr. Shifty Eyes.
Dr. Shifty Eyes. Let's see. All right. This one is the one. I just realized we get a much bigger crowd when you're not hurt.
Yeah, they're all here for Tina normally.
Yeah, they're here for Tina. Thanks, Tina. I question everything our government tells us. You should, and that's why our forefathers gave us the right to free speech as our first. I like to call commandment, not like it's a commandment. It's God given. It's inalienable. We are free to speak our minds, even if I don't agree with you. I'll defend your right to speak whatever dumb shit you have to say. And either I will not respond or I will come back with a counter. And that's how we used to do discourse in America. Now it's, when someone tries to speak, you scream at the top of your lungs so they can't be heard, or you try to silence them by canceling them. It's disgusting. Your mic is a little loud there, Grant. Yeah, at times it has been, but I think he's.
Oh, sorry about that, guys.
Oh, Jesus Christ, that was real loud. You did that on purpose.
No, I don't know how to change it on my phone.
I'll just be back from it a little bit if you're talking through your headphones.
Yeah, it's a headset attached to my ears, so.
Yeah, just if you whatever. You sound beautiful. All right, so UAP James, Jeremy Corbell, Sean Kirkpatrick is yeah. So let's listen to this, and hopefully, as usual, I'll get a strike. Whatever.
Look, man, from zero to Jeremy, what's my freedom to speak here, George?
Go for it.
There was a better one that has a little bit more to it. Hopefully I can find it real quick and I'll put that one up. No, not that one. Excuse me, everybody. I apologize.
It's all good. From zero to Jeremy. So
Yeah.
Jeremy, so 10's bad in that scenario?
I guess so. I don't know. Hold on. This is like the beginning of it I'll show, and then we'll jump back to this one. Because I believe this was like the beginning. No. Is that the same exact picture? Oh, this is the longer one. Okay. Maybe I did screw that up. But anyways, we'll watch this one and we'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. Don't worry.
Look, man, from zero to Jeremy, what's my freedom to speak here, George?
Go for it.
Yeah, be myself, you always say, right? Cool.
It's your birthday.
Damn it. I got it here. Sorry, guys. Stick with me.
Is that not the one?
No, that's I just wanted to show you the intro.
This
I'll
is
turn it down
not
a little
the
bit.
final episode of Weaponized.
Sean Kirkpatrick spending a whole year investigating this topic and not finding any evidence. We know that AARO wasn't really up and running for that first year.
Some of these witnesses he put them at risk. Dr. Kirkpatrick is lying to the American public. There are FOIA-able back and forths between Kirkpatrick and David Grush that will become public.
I don't know if he says that
later. The agenda is to shape the emerging UAP narrative.
That's just the beginning. I wanted to show that because I couldn't remember if that was on there. All right. So, and then this one. And
0 to Jeremy.
I'm going to run it, dude. Are you able to pause this? Or would you have to share it?
No, because it's on your computer.
All right. I'm going to run it for a minute while I hit the can. I'll be right back.
My freedom to speak here, George.
Go for it.
Yeah. Be myself, you always say, right? Cool.
It's your birthday.
Thank you. Total fucking horse shit. And Kirkpatrick is a piece of dog shit. So check this out. There's an information war. This is disinformation. This is a disinformation tour, and the public should know. And we're going to highlight it. He wrote an article in Scientific American. It was an opinion piece, right? There was literally nothing scientific about it, nor was it American. Because to be an American, you represent the people you're supposed to represent. This was the most ridiculous opinion piece that I have ever seen. So I read it. It was disgusting. I'll read you something from it. But also, he's a liar. Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick is a liar. And he's lying to the American public. And I'll highlight one of the things that he lied about. You told me, and this was so interesting, you said, nobody's ever going to trust AARO again. So before I go on, what did you mean from that?
I mean, he stuck a shiv right in the ribs of his own organization. He basically lied about things that are easily disproven, in particular about whistleblowers. So we know these guys, some of them at least, we know how sensitive this is, how worried they are, how frightened about coming forward with the information, some of whom have already shared it with Congress and with the ICIG. They're scared about what the future holds. So there was always a little reluctance to trust AARO. They didn't know where the heart of that organization was. Well, now we know that they were right to be concerned because.
All right. So what did I miss in the first minute and 50 seconds?
He essentially said that he's screwed up AARO itself by saying all this sort of stuff. He's basically brought the whole thing into disrepute, and for a government organization, no one's ever going to trust them now. So on his within a year, he destroyed the thing that was set up to help the scenario. And the guy on the left said he's dog shit. The whole thing is horse shit. I think he used 3 different verbiages of shit to describe the whole scenario.
I did watch that. He did take what's his name's beard. That's pretty funny. It's like the same gray in the same spots. Mine's a little bit grayer and not as nice. Because I'm a man, not a cook. But George Knapp is on the right. Jeremy Corbell is on the left. George Knapp is the man who interviewed Bob Lazar back in Nevada in the 80s and started his, he was already in news, but that started his ufology career. George Knapp is a reputable guy. There's not many people that will talk bad about George Knapp. At least not anymore. Back in the day, there was a guy, I think his last name was Glass, that would always try to debunk him and this and that. But George Knapp does his research. And what I find funny is people can't stand Jeremy Corbell. And I understand he's kind of like a bro, whatever. He's newer to the field. He did a documentary and it opened the door to him. But they attack him, but they always leave out George Knapp. And it's like they work together all the time now. So if you're dissing Jeremy Corbell, you're dissing George Knapp. And I believe George Knapp would not keep someone around that he didn't 100% vet and then 100% trust. So like this argument that Jeremy Corbell is either a disinformation guy or just an asshole who's ruining the field, like go kiss yourself on your shit, as he would say, dog shit.
Kiss your own poo. Got it.
Yeah, dog shit. And if Mr. Corbell would ever grace us with an appearance on my lovely show, that'd be awesome. I really think the guy's doing great work for the field of ufology. And George Knapp, it would be a legend Please. That would be awesome.
Because there were some of these folks that went to AARO. There are people who shared information with Sean
Sorry, buddy.
Kirkpatrick.
I'll be back
He's
in like
saying it
15
didn't
minutes.
happen. There's
Yeah, go, man. I'm good for a while.
no good information at all. There's nothing of value from whistleblowers, and that's simply not true. But what it means is, going forward, now that he's still listed as a consultant to AARO and is basically
I did not know he was still a consultant of AARO. That's maybe why this op-ed came out. They're like, we need you to take the blow for us. You're going to step down and in a few months put this op-ed out. And if you don't, you won't be allowed to the special buffet anymore or something. They'll threaten him with something. He seems like, yeah, Kirkpatrick might not be the type, like I'm a buffet guy, a good buffet, like a good one, like real crab, not imitate. Okay. Imitation crab's fine. If it's good, Good question. How do you feel on buffets? Let me know in the chat. I also am going to, I had a thing over there on YouTube. So I'm ending the poll, and the results of the poll are as followed. If it shows it to me. Son of a bitch, I ended the damn thing. Where is it? That's awesome. I don't see it. If anybody sees the results of my poll, please let me know. Should come out. Anyways, let's move on. But it was 100% yes to, I believe the question was, is the government lying about aliens and or first contact? And it was 100% yes, they are. All right, let's go on with the great George Knapp.
simply not true. But what it means is, going forward, now that he's still listed as a consultant to AARO and is basically
That's wrong.
cut the gonads off of the credibility of his own organization, what
Gonads. I hope you all know what that is. Andy, do you know? I don't know if you English know that word. Gonads. It's a technical word. Scientific. Might not know. I'm not a biologist, but I do know these things. Yeah, I didn't think Biggles you would know. You got him though, Biggles. You got him. You got gonads galore, my friend. Big platinum diamond studded ones.
whistleblower is ever going to come forward and trust them again?
And this is the important thing.
Credibility of his own organization. What whistleblower is ever going to come forward and trust them again?
So I didn't watch that before I read the op-ed to you guys. Exactly what I said. He was discrediting the whistleblowers like David Grush that came forward all in that op-ed, at the same time discouraging new whistleblowers, because literally a consultant now of this group is saying you're all conspiracy minded so-called whistleblowers with your so-called evidence. I mean, it was a brilliant tactic. And the problem is that was, again, in a scientific journal. And I don't think people realize, like, so how many scientists will read that op-ed, but not watch someone like George Knapp and hear the counterpoint to it? That's the problem. You have all these people just scientists. Oh yeah, there's no evidence, and they're science-based, so that it's all about the evidence. Yeah, they got none. So this field is joke. Just like the impact theory proponents, they're a joke. Younger dry, or even the solar flare people during the younger dryas, it was a joke. There was no flood, but proof has been shown.
No one in their right mind would do that, to see how their information would be treated, even though they're putting their careers, maybe their lives, at risk by sharing that information with that organization. It's dead. That organization is dead. There is no way it can ever be trusted again as long as it stays within the purview of the Department of Defense. Not a chance.
All right. Well, I was really hopeful, and despite me being hopeful and you telling me how it's probably going to play out, this is another Project Blue Book, I was hopeful.
Before we go on, I was hopeful too. And yeah, again, I support what you're saying there, Katina, 100%. Within the field, once social media and the idea of becoming Insta famous and YouTube famous, you had the people that crept in that, you know, oh, I was picked up in my backyard at a young age and brought to the dark side of the moon and taught telepathic ability. Well, I was a telepath and I was able now to speak to all the legions of aliens, like with zero proof and packing the house at these cons. Ancient Aliens kind of started the whole craze, and I'm not dissing Ancient Aliens. You know, the first couple seasons were fantastic. But we need now to go to a more science-based. We need the evidence. We needed AARO to be legit, where people that had footage from our aircraft, military aircraft, military surveillance were able to come forward with their evidence, and now they're trying to scare them away. So, you're going to still have the wackadoos in the ufology, but you're also going to have the believers. I'm a believer. I mean, I don't have the evidence, but I am definitely a believer, and I believe in some of these people. And it's not, you can ask me, through DM or somewhere else, who the people I don't trust, and I'll let you know. But I'm not going to put it out there because, hey, man, you gotta do the research yourself. And if these people are getting over on people, that sucks. But maybe we do need to call out more. The problem is once you start doing that, the infighting starts. I'll show you a couple X accounts that just their whole thing is attacking Jeremy Corbell, which I understand he's new, so maybe that's why. I don't know, and he got famous pretty quick. The dude's put in the work, though.
Now, look, I'm still hopeful. There's a new interim director of AARO who we hear is a solid human, and he understands there's a UFO problem. And there are people within AARO who are really good people that want to get to the truth. And I would like to have open comms with those people.
I love people that are positive. And it always seems like he's the positive one. Like, there has to be someone brave enough in these government positions to, all right, you're giving me the power to prove this. I'll show you the evidence. And I'm wondering if evidence has been brought and getting quashed or squashed or whatever you want to say. It is Brazil's government that is more about things than have been seen. Right. Like, let's go back to the lights over Arizona, I think they call it, where the V-shaped UAP flew over Arizona, where, hundreds of people, if not thousands, reported it. And or was it Arizona? I'm pretty sure. And the governor of said state where this happened came out with a news report and had like a dude in it. Yeah, I met the alien, and a guy in a stupid, generic alien suit came in. Ha ha ha. Many years later, he came back and said, I was just scared. I was scared because it would be an end to my political career if I said I believed in this. Thank you, Katina. Yeah, Arizona. Like he was, and I'm pretty sure that's the governor. It was like, I was just scared I would ruin my career. But he was like, there was some solid reports, police officers, EMTs, things like that saw the same UFO. And it was supposed to be AARO who made it safe for any government, at least federal, under the federal blanket, to come forward, which was a big step. And this guy just destroyed it. He just nuked it. So, Jeremy's trying to be positive with the new interim guy, but I'm a little less, more cynical when it comes to that.
Because here's the deal. We did, on good faith, send people to AARO, people that have confided in us, and we know how they were treated. We also know what they told Dr. Kirkpatrick. So let's get into the lies. He put them at risk at their jobs. The jobs they're at now, some of these witnesses, he put them at risk.
Agree? I agree. Literally, if not at risk of losing their credentials and or their jobs, but he set them up for ridicule. I mean, these people trusted the government to back what they said. And once again, I believe America is, no offense to any other country, but we are probably the greatest nation based on our Constitution the earth has seen. The freedoms we are given that they're trying to take, in the Constitution, Bill of Rights, is the freest any government has ever been. This crazy idea they had where a man with an army stepped down and allowed there to be an election. Not like Napoleon, but like the slander George Washington takes nowadays disgusts me. The man had multiple times to be a king, and he decided, no, I'm not even your excellency, the president. I am Mr. President, and I'm deciding after my second term, I'm done. And who was it that broke that, that historical idea that, precedent of just 2 terms? FDR, because there was a war and I have to be there to take care of it. That's someone you should look down to, not freaking Washington. Sorry, I digress. Thank you.
And we can get into that more later, but that is unconscionable. Additionally, to go after David Grush, and let me just read you what he wrote so I can really nail this home, that he's a liar. This is not just a disinformation war. He's a liar. So in his article, where Kirkpatrick said in the Scientific American, which was neither scientific nor American,
Amen.
Here's a quote. And I'm gonna tell you where he puts quotes.
I think I've done that multiple times.
As of the time of my departure, none, let me repeat, none of the conspiracy-minded, in quote, whistleblowers in the public eye had elected to come to AARO to provide their, quote, evidence and statement for the record, despite numerous invitations. So let's just take David Grush.
Bullshit.
Is that true? It's not true. That's a lie. So there are FOIA-able back and forths between.
And that's what blows my mind. This guy, he knew he'd be debunked. He was just hoping that the people that read Scientific America will never listen to Jeremy Corbell. And also maybe knowing that the mainstream media might report on this once and then let it go. And then it's us fringe people, reporting on it. So in a way, if what was used to be the media, what used to be reporters, now seem to be the voice of whichever party they decide to back. If the bigwigs in that party, they're state run pretty much, like not as in the federal state they are, not as in local states. And that's what he's banking on. Let's see how many people have heard of this op-ed in since January 22nd, when it was first published, to today. I have heard no reporting on this. I actually was just looking through UAP searches and different people like Jeremy Corbell and just putting their names in and searching. And that's how I found this. Did anybody else know about Kirkpatrick? Yeah, Kirkpatrick does sound like an ass. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. And the worst part is he's still a consultant there. So we heard interim director replaced him as he stepped down, but yet he is now paid as a consultant. So is he bound even under governmental rules now? I don't even know. And as a consultant and this interim or director, is he really just still leading it? We don't know. And hopefully I'll keep up on this. I don't know how many people really are into this, but to me, this is one of the biggest stories in ufology we've had in a very long time. We thought the government was going to be open. Last year, 2022, I was hopeful, skeptical, but hopeful. I am no longer hopeful with this government.
Take David Grush. Is that true? It's not true. That's a lie. So there are FOIA-able back and forths between Kirkpatrick and David Grush that will be.
So foilable it's governmental. So there's proof government. It's just not his text messages unless they are on government devices. So foilable, we spoke of that earlier. The exact term, it's like, it has to be released, I guess. I don't know if they could just show it unless it was leaked. As a reporter, you have that ability.
Become public. I have seen them. Back and forths between Kirkpatrick and David Grush that will become public. I have seen them. And so what he did was he made this statement that is disingenuous and it is a lie. Now, absolutely, he wanted, after David Grush gave him so many opportunities, and we're talking locations of physical hardware of you.
But I thought there was no evidence. I thought he said no evidence throughout that op-ed. There was no evidence. But what is he saying? David Grush gave him freedom of information. Oh, Jesus, did I not say that? Oh my God, for you. Thank you, bro. Thanks for making me look like an idiot. Yeah, hail to you too, small time Republic. You. Oh, God. Love you, man. Thank you. Yeah, freedom of information. Duh. So it has to be released through the Freedom of Information Act. And it may take time. It's only when they get to it, correct? It's not like I don't know if there's a certain amount of time they can respond, either denying, releasing redacted, or releasing fully the paperwork. I don't know the time frame. There must be a time frame, right? Small time, you know everything, Mr. Google.
Many opportunities, and we're talking locations of physical hardware, of UFO NHI hardware, program names, classified program names. So locations, names, employees, firsthand witnesses, all of this, people did testify to him. So the fact that he is saying this, it's like a debunker. You omit information.
Yep.
And if you ask anybody who has a wife or a girlfriend, you omit information, that's still a lie.
Yes,
so
sir.
that's what he's done. So to be clear, we put people forward to AARO in good faith. We know what was said. We know what information he had. So this is a lie. His statement is a lie. And I think that's really important. And people are going to see, now, why is this important? This is important because in UFO Twitter and the worlds that we live in, it's like, okay, I get it. Not everybody hears this stuff. They don't.
Dude, it's like he's speaking through me. I've already, again, this is what I was saying before. Not everyone gets to hear the information. So with him writing this op-ed, he was rolling the dice that the majority of at least scientific people, professors, scientists, so forth, they will not listen, even look at UAP Twitter or X now they call it. Federal agencies are required to respond within 20 days of the request. I had to Google that part for sure. I knew you did. Oh, and it's 20 business days. Thank you, to be exact, because we're all about the truth here, sir. Truth. We're all about the truth and evidence. We are the same people. I just look, he has, all right, so he's a little more stylish and in shape. Wonder if he's like I'm 48. January 22nd. His birthday just happened. Are we the same person? I don't know. That's a good question. I was going to do something. It just didn't work in time. Damn it. First to know, my pronouns are so thank you. Yep. That's my CFO. Edwin. I don't know if you guys know him. Good guy. Good. I love. Good person.
Don't even know who Dr. Kirkpatrick is. I get that. They might not even know who David Grush is. I get that. But when you put a piece out in Scientific American, it's read by a lot of people who have no insight. They take it on face value. So we are going to retaliate. We are going to push back and expose those lies with the receipts, as the kids say. We're going to
Receipts.
make sure that shit is FOIA, and then the receipts will be there. Dr. Kirkpatrick is lying to the American public. His motivations to do so, I don't know. Don't know him.
Yeah.
Know who he has beers with, though. And everybody's told me he's a suit. He's just a company man. Well, guess what, AARO? If you really want to make a difference, well, I'm glad you got new kind of ownership now. You got somebody else ahead of it. Let's see. Let's see if we can push them to be honest to the American public. I don't know if I was for.
Yeah, man. See, that's where I don't agree with them, though. They have an interim head, and this guy's still a consultant. It just sounds like there's a figurehead, and he's still running the show, and that's why he dropped this bomb. But he's right. You know, if he puts that out there, he's hoping that most people don't look into it. You can convince Jeremy that you are him. Are you not a fan? Because I am. I think the guy, from what I've seen from different podcasts and stuff, you know, he seems like at least he's being honest for what he believes is he's being honest. I don't think he's lying. What the evidence, the things people he's talked to, he believes what he is seeing. And I mean that in the utmost respect. Seeing Jeremy mad is odd. He's so chill. Usually it's understandable in this case. Yes. I mean, the guy is most positive, one of the most positive, like, people in ufology. The majority of people you see are like, you know, me, just probably paid better. Let's see. There was some good stuff that I had here. You know, I gotta follow these guys. They've been having some good articles. Oh no, it's the libertarians. I don't know, Libertarian Times. I don't even know. They must be libertarians, right? Dear British government, it's time to wake up to UFO reality. That sounds like that's a pretty decent op-ed. I'd like to know what they're saying on that one, but we'll have to come back to that one another day. I did have some more of my, oh no, see, I'm not on my bookmarks. That's why. Bookmarks. Aliens. I do, this guy, UAP News is good too. I think I follow him. No, I don't, but I will now. Don't care how big they are. I can't wait until we can hear again from the former Pentagon UFO director of ATIP, Lou Elizondo, who led his division for decades and concluded that we are not alone. See, in his op-ed, Kirkpatrick, who says, I think we've heard enough from the UFO hunter, Dr. Kirkpatrick, who led his division for a mere 18 months, with the first year not even really being organized, and was unsuccessful accessing any legacy UFO programs before he left his job in shame. Yet he left it, but now he's a consultant. Let's not forget that. So Elizondo was there for 10 years telling us, yeah, we're not alone. And it's been hard for people to debunk that guy. I think the only thing that went weird with him is when he left, he went to Academy of the Stars with the guy from Blink 182. And I think having him kind of as the figurehead, the Blink 182, and I'm forgetting that kid's name. All the small thing, that one. Not the one that sings "Sissies Growing Up." Dun, 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 dun. That was like one of their only good songs. But anyways, that dude, having him as like the figurehead, I think may have hit a little bit of Elizondo's credibility to people, and a lot of people thought he was actually using the Blink 182 figure as like one kind of disinformation. But I haven't seen any of the evidence, the podcasts and interviews I've seen with Elizondo. I don't know the man, but it seems like he in the 10 years being the director of ATIP for the Pentagon, he saw things. I don't know if you guys agree, but I do. Military and government folks are still people and like celebrities. Yeah, that's true, Soul. You're right. You're right. They probably like, oh my God, it's Sporking. I get it. I didn't think of that. Hail to the military. So toxic was, and we saw that, I think it's Undersecretary something, Defense INS though. I don't know if they're the different levels. Influence over the AARO continues to cause huge damage. Dr. Kirkpatrick was their appointment. He was their person of choice, the same office that persecuted Lou Elizondo. Right. So we'll go with this one first. The fact that at DOD AARO has ignored the previous investigation into UAP by the DIA through AAWSAP is a huge red flag. They avoided it for a reason. This report is tied to the effort for Kirkpatrick to say all data was deleted from the NIMS. May be factual. There, let's just read that. But there is significant information available if they wanted to access it, right? So Kirkpatrick saying that it was, yeah, that's kind of weird that the Nimitz, where there was a sighting, and was the Nimitz the one with the Tic Tac, or was that the other UAP that they released last year? Either way, like the different like cameras, I don't know how to say it. Like you had radar, you had infrared, you had night vision, you had heat, and different levels of the spectrum of light that they were viewing. That they had speeds, direction, all this stuff, and a lot of it got deleted, they said. Also, let's not forget at that base in Iraq, the reason why you see the jellyfish on an angle is because that's from somebody's phone, because somehow that got deleted too, even though there's reports that it was taken from some colonel and his crew came in and strong-armed them. So I don't know. So Jeremy goes on to respond, you are 100% correct. You raise important points that George and I have tried to highlight publicly. And to be clear, all the data from the NIMS was not deleted, right? That was a lie by Dr. Kirkpatrick. Wow. George and I tried to submit a 140 plus page technical report by the DIA to the open congressional hearing. We were warned against it. We continue to fight back. Thank you for paying attention, my friend. All right. Yeah, it would be nice if you responded to mine. That'd be pretty cool. I'm such a dork. And then you got people like this. Jeremy Corbell has childish breakdown about Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick. This dude, his whole channel, and no disrespect, you're a veteran, thank you for your service, but your whole channel, if it's the same guy I think it is just attacking Jeremy Corbell for the most part. For some reason, he just goes at him constantly. Oh, it's Tom DeLong. Thank you. That's all the small things. The lovely Sherry. If they I will not go. That's Tom DeLong. Just so you know. From Bob Lazard to the dirty deeds of Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick, the disgraced former head of AARO government UFO propaganda program, which is still a consultant for it, though. It's gonna be a UFO rodeo tonight on Weaponized, which we should all check out that pod. You can YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, most likely. Weaponized is a very good conversation, usually between him and George, and sometimes a guest. I'm always open to be a guest, guys. George and I throw UFO grenades at the purveyors of UFO propaganda, horseshit, crap by our government and publications like Scientific America. And I wonder why they printed it. I mean, I guess he was the former director of AARO, but you know, you could choose your op-ed writer. So lovely, Sherry. How are you tonight? Good to see you. The Nimitz, I think, and was the Tic Tac. Okay, the other one was the one that looked like a top. Yeah. Thank you for stopping. Everybody who's been here. I know it's been a small chat, but I love when we get to talk to you guys directly. So it's always fun. I'm going to go on for a couple more minutes and then we'll call it a night, unless you guys have something you want me to talk about. We counterattack this disinformation, lies, and nonsense that's been perpetrated on you folks, us, who they think you are not smart, but you are smart. So they are in for the briar patch of truth bombs. Put on your UFO battle helmet. Okay, he's just talking about a show, but it's a good show. Or listen. I have no clue what Soul Foundation is. I know I saved that for a reason. Oh, I like this guy. Listen to this dude. This is Captain Robert Jameson. So another guy who, you know, he's just a captain and we shouldn't listen to him. That would be Kirkpatrick. Oh, he has no proof. Oops. That's not what I want to do. All right.
My name's Robert Jameson, and I was a combat target officer at
Sorry. Trying to. There we go.
Air Force Base during the incident that we're talking about tonight, this afternoon. Principally, my job.
Okay, he's a little older now. Okay, he's probably was scared to report this. What was the incident again, though? Let's see. Listen.
Combat target officer at Mobstrom Air Force Base during the incident.
Mobstrom?
Robert Jameson, and I was a combat target officer at Mobstrom Air Force Base.
It sounds like he's saying Mobstrom. If anybody wants to look that up real quick, that'd be awesome. Brian, I was wondering where you were. I fell asleep a minute before last night's show, then slept 12 hours. I hope you're all right. Good to see you, man. You'll have to go back and watch the beginning of this. We went through the Dr. Kirkpatrick op-ed in Scientific America, where he is just disrespecting any whistleblower that has come forward, saying they brought no evidence, never returned messages, that they are conspiracy minded whistleblowers, you know. And then he also attacked government officials that believed we should put time and effort into looking into aliens. You know, it was a waste of money. So he stepped down in November, but yet now he's a consultant. That was reported that he's now a consultant. So is he really stepped down, or is he still doing it now as a civilian? Probably making way more money and less oversight.
During the incident that we're talking about tonight, this afternoon. Principally, my job was to point the missile in the right direction. It involves more than that.
So this is talking about most likely a nuclear base, and probably he's going to bring up UAPs or UFOs that buzz those type of facilities. I just love listening to this stuff. So thank you, Small Time. He appears to be referring to, Malmstrom. Okay, Air Force Base in Montana. First time I've heard of it. Yeah, but I believe it is a nuclear base, correct? Where I also believe the Chinese were buying up land or putting up telecommunication stuff right outside of it, all straight up or down from Montana, all through like Colorado. Like, look into that. Maybe we'll cover that next week. That's another messed up one. No, dude, I've never really been into the Bigfoot thing. If anything, Bigfoot is some type of interdimensional creature, or like a Neanderthal leftover. Because with satellite, with the the technology we have today, not being able to find one. I know, you know, the forests are massive, but just the amount of people looking for them and not being able to find them, unless it's on like a grainy footage. I just find that to be a little hard to believe, but I do like, I haven't even watched Skinwalker either. So that's one people tell me I should be watching. And I'm a couple of seasons behind on Curse of Oak Island, which I love. I just love how you have one brother that's all about the Benjamins and the other brother's like on some spiritual journey. It's freaking awesome.
All smoke and mirrors and a whole bunch of other stuff. But generally, it's to point the direction, tell the missile which way to go. And also, if a missile falls off alert for no reason whatsoever, we have to go back and completely retarget it because we don't know what caused the missile to go off alert and whether or not it corrupted the targeting information. So we had to do the whole thing over again. I was on alert one night.
Let me know what streaming service, Brian.
And I got a call from Job Control. Job Control is the people that keep track of all maintenance. And the missile had gone down in Oscar flight. He asked me to go and start it up. Well, that's bad news because Oscar flight is 160 miles from the base. And 160 miles on those Air Force trucks, no. So I had to go out anyway and did restart the missile.
I like to know what year.
When I
this
got to the
was.
hangar after I called my team
must have been
ready
like
to
in the
get ready to
80s?
go, I walked into the hangar and some of my friends came up and says, "Bob, did you hear what happened?" No, I didn't hear what happened. It says there was a UFO, the sheriff in Roy, Montana, a little burg outside Lewiston, Montana. Roy, Montana, reported a UFO in the area, told the Air Force, and at the same time, 10 missiles in Oscar flight went off alert.
All right, so there is so Captain Robert Salas, was that this guy's name? We're at 159. No, this is a different guy. Okay. Who was at Malmstrom Air Force Base in Montana in 1967 when 10 ICMS intercontinental missiles he was overseeing suddenly became inoperative. So there was March 16th, 1967. We might have to go over this one night. I remember there have been incidents where the warheads have been turned off, like just not operational, and there was like sightings of UFOs. Now I feel like I always have to say UAP, but they're UFOs. So I'd like to, maybe we'll have to go over this one next week, but we'll listen to the end of what this guy has to say and see if you guys want to. Let me know, put a 1 if yes, or a Y if you want to hear about it, and if you don't.
At the same time, 10 missiles in Oscar flight went off alert. Well, this is very, very unusual. I don't know if there's any incidents where 2 missiles went off alert at the same time, but the missiles would go off alert for no reason at all. It doesn't happen really.
Run.
We do take missiles off alert for maintenance and other reasons, but
Oh shit, Minuteman.
to go off alert for no reason and then have 10 missiles to go off alert, it's never happened before. Well, it happened a week before that. And Bob was the launch commander at that time. So they sent me out. Well, first of all, they gave me the targeting information, told you aren't going to start one target, you're going to start 4 targets or 4 missiles. And he said, but don't leave yet.
The guy's shaking. You can hear the podium. He's like so nervous, but he feels, it's almost like this is the last thing this guy wants to talk about. You know, he looks nervous. He feels like it's almost like he's scared to talk about it. So these are the people I believe more than anybody. The ones that people are like, oh, that dude looks crazy. I see a guy who's a little bit scared. maybe not just presenting what he's, but what he's talking about, how much it scared him. And he might have that older Uncle Fester look. Yeah. Yeah.
We're going to have to wait until all the activity out there dies down. But they told me there was also a flying saucer or truck driver going down Belt Canyon and reported a UFO. And we have a group out there right
This is
now
really hard to
involving the
listen to.
wing commander and some other big wheels. Just watching it. It's at the bottom of a canyon now. They can't send anybody. It's nighttime. They aren't going to send anybody down to the canyon at nighttime. They aren't going to send any helicopters down at the nighttime. But as soon as it gets light, they're going to do that. As soon as it got light and the helicopter started going down, the thing shot up between the two and disappeared.
Wow.
So that's near Belt, Montana.
Yeah, we might have to go over this. I didn't know. I've heard of this happening. I didn't know it was Maelstrom though. That's pretty cool. I like this one. This is from this guy. Not substantial, huh? Sustainable. Kirkpatrick says, in essence, nothing to see here. All programs have been reported to Congress appropriately. But just over a month ago, a top gang of 8 members made the remarkable allegations that the U.S. Government is illegally withholding UAP information from Congress. So this is from the government forum UFO Hunter has. Okay, so this is, oh, wait a minute. Everything that name or identified as a legitimate oversight committee, it's been reported out. Okay, so he's saying, yeah, this is when he was telling us, Congress concerns is that there was a program that they did not have insight into, and he was like, but it's all been covered. There's no programs that Congress doesn't know about, which is bullshit. Like, it's not the elected people as much you have to worry about. It's the people that are appointed that have been in the same position for 50 years and passed it on to his kid. This, though, Senate Democrats, the United States government has gathered a great deal of information about UAPs over many decades, but has refused to share it with the American people. That is wrong and additionally breeds mistrust. No shit. We have also been notified by multiple credible sources that information on UAPs has also been withheld from Congress. No. Which, if true, is a violation of law requiring full notification to legislative branch, especially as it relates to the 4 congressional leaders, the Defense Committee, and the Intelligence Committee. Yeah, but, nothing to see here. Don't worry. These people suck. Okay, I just want to hear what he says here.
The new head of AARO is a cool guy. I hear he's
Have
a
they
great.
named it? Have they named
Yeah,
him
yeah,
head of
yeah.
AARO?
He's
Oh, I
an
didn't know.
interim. He's an interim, but I hear he's a really cool guy.
Yeah.
Like in that he knows there's a problem and he's not going to play the Sean Kirkpatrick bullshit of lying to the American public.
What's
Yeah.
the name? Did I miss something? Or am I not
Yeah,
saying it?
bad.
Was
I'm bad with
it was,
names.
It was basically somebody who was under Kirkpatrick is taken over an interim.
I don't know if
Alright,
he
we'll
was
find out.
under
Yeah.
Kirkpatrick, but I do know that the new interim director of AARO is said to be a straightforward person, not a political.
Yeah.
But that's why he's not the new director, right? That's why he's not the new director, because they have to find someone they can control, definitely.
A guy that's like Kirkpatrick, totally fucking lying to the American public.
Yeah.
So, I mean, lying to the American public.
But he's also, Kirkpatrick is now a consultant, most likely. Is that Dave Foley? Hold on. I just got to look at that. Really, with Tom and Dave. Yeah. I mean, it must be Dave Foley. It says with Tom and Dave. But it doesn't give me anything else. So it has to be. I didn't know he had a with only, wait a minute, really? With Tom and Dave only has 1.88K subscribers. I am subscribing right now. And I would love to have Tom Foley on, or Dave Foley on my show. We like start some type of, I don't know, send it out to these people like, hey there, bucko. Like, why don't you go on Sporking News, Aluminum Spork? You know, maybe Tom Foley would. I don't know. I'm going to look. Hold on. Oh, there's no about. Oh yeah, the about's now here. Let's see. To any email? Come on, give me an email, dude. No email. Son of a bitch. Ah, man, that sucks. I would love to. I'm sorry. I'm talking to myself. It has to be him. Yeah. Yeah, it is. God, how do I get him on my show? He has only 1.88. That blows my mind. I have a bigger channel than Dave Foley. Dave Foley's awesome, dude. Funny motherfucker too. That's yeah. I don't know. That'd be awesome. And Dave, who's Dave? Anyway, sorry about that, guys. I get my my mind starts wandering. They don't have like a link to Dave, right? UA paid James is not the guy I thought though. But you know what, James, I'm going to follow you too. I like to support people. All right. Well, I get that was the last of what I had there. Yeah, let's start campaign. All right, let's go with Dave Foley. Dave Foley, me on his show or him on mine. Or start reaching out to Jeremy Corbell. You know, he has Twitter. He reads his Twitter. Hey, why don't you go check out Sporking News? Have him go on his show. Really good guy. We can even tape it. It won't have to be live. I'll do it like as a premiere or whatever, because some people don't like doing live stuff. But thank you for the people who remained to watch the end. I really appreciate you guys, like more than you know. Thank you for being channel members. Anybody who we didn't have tonight, and I'm not saying that but like shoot super chats or anything like that, that's fine. It's just thank you for when you guys throw them out there. I really do appreciate them. Trying to build the channel back up. Have been losing subscribers. So if you are not a subscriber and somebody just watching and dug what we talked about and you made it an hour and 47 minutes in, please subscribe. Check us out. And hopefully next week, Grant will be feeling better and Tina. And I'm working on a guest, one of my, the people in the fandom that we all know. And hasn't been on the show for a while. So let's do this. But yeah, we're going to start a campaign. Start with Jeremy Corbell. Go to his page. I don't know, even if I write to him or respond on mine where I added him, that'd be great. I'm such a dork. Have a great night, everybody. The truth is out there, and we are the ones that need to put it out there. Just sent you something on Twitter. Oh, wait a minute. We're not leaving. We are not leaving. DM or did you send it as a DM? I don't see it, buddy. Maybe I have to let's do that. Refresh. No, I don't see it. Scott, do 5-minute weirdness vids to get your channel going better. Yeah, I should. I don't have time. 2 nights a week is tough enough. I haven't even done a Saturday dump since before Christmas. But maybe I do miss doing the dump, but I have to give up one of them. Oh, okay. Let me check that out. Yeah, I don't see it as a notification. That's so weird. Yeah, I need to do some more like actual videos. Why is this not showing up? Let me check over here. Please bear with me. Mentions. Maybe if I went to mention. No. Yeah. The last one was an hour ago from Trina. It's so weird. They don't want me to see it, Katina. It wouldn't let you at me. I follow you, don't I? Oh, please tell me I follow you. Please tell me I'm not that guy. Hold on. Yeah, you follow each other, so why wouldn't it let you at me? And I don't see your post though. It's the last post is January 18th. Wait a minute. It's Katina _Martin_, right? We follow each other. What is going on? Are you playing with my mind? Yeah, last one's from the 18th. I will keep working on it. It was from the Daily Mail about 2 Air Force vets talking about the missile. Oh, cool. Yeah, try to send it to me. Try to DM too. It might go into like a request folder. And that's fine. I'll release it, but I don't understand why we're not able to do that. That's weird. Heck, you make clips from your live streams too. I don't. Usually Grant does, but I'm going to start cutting them up a bit. I will do that. And send me ideas of news of the weird, things to cover with 1 to 5 minute little videos. And I will try to do that. And I'll give shout outs to the people who give me the ideas. But again, we'll start this campaign and see if we can get Jeremy Corbell on the show. That would be freaking awesome. But I hope you all have a great night, and I will keep an eye. Katina, Brian, thank you. Small Time, thank you. Soul, as always, thank you so much. The lovely Sherry, you're brilliant. We had other people here today, like Mr. Grant Gregory. Thank you for being on the panel. I hope your back's okay. Zach's, Biggles, and Biggles is usually somewhere running in the background. Tina, I hope you're feeling better. Darren, I hope you're doing well, my friend. I'm sorry I didn't give you a shout out when you got here. I hope everything's well with you. Tina, Spencer, you guys are all great. And also, I know Dago was here earlier. Pope Metallicus, I have to reach out to those guys. Alex Moore, thank you guys. I really appreciate everything. If I don't see you guys Saturday, hopefully there will be a video out. Come back Monday for a Spork of Ice and Fire, talking mostly about George R.R. Martin's World of A Song of Ice and Fire, but we will be starting to add other fantasy fiction, novels, and TV shows and series we'll be talking about. Be safe, everybody. Seek out the truth and don't believe their bullshit.
Aluminum Spork.